It's your boy Rodney Perry. I'm bringing you an evolutionary experience. Hey, it's game.
Hi, this is India with Designer Accessory Adoption. Thanks for watching this video and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for trying out my video if you're new, and a special thank you to the folks that have seen a previous video and are coming back for another one. Today is going to be the part 2, which is going to be over an alternative to the Pochette Metis. So this next item, actually, I discovered it after I was looking more into vintage handbag styles, and I consider this one similar to the Pochette Metis. Other people may disagree, but I think structurally the concept is there for the most part. I also think it's a great option because it's vintage and it's unique. So I'll go ahead and get into it, and that is going to be of the Grenelle. So apologies if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but let's go ahead and get started. So first, before I even go into details about the Grenelle, which is the vintage version of what I think is not vintage version, but a vintage option that's similar to the Pochette Metis, I just wanted to throw out a little bit of information about the new Pochette Metis. So the Pochette Metis, first off, the monogram is a little over $2,000. So right now it's $2,050. There are 3 other types. Now you can get the reverse monogram. That one is available for $2,050 as well. And then you have the 2 leather versions. So one is the black bicolor with, I think, like the cream LV print, and that one's $26.90. And the next one is the monogram empreinte, pretty much, and that one has several colors. You have the turtle dove, you have your black. Trying to see if there's other colors, and then there's another like really cool navy one with a red trim. So those look like they are coming in about $2,400 and $2,400. It is $2,400, but it's $2,420. I was gonna mess up the 20, so I had to redo that. And as I'm clicking through the LV website, none of these are available. So for whatever reason, if you don't want to wait, or this price range is just not what you were trying to spend on an LV Pochette Metis, but you still really want something from the fashion house, I think this other vintage option, in addition to the part 1 of this video where I talked about the Monsieur, are great options to look into. So let me just give you some measurements. The Pochette Metis currently is 9.8 inches in length, 7.5 inches in height, and 2.8 inches in width. So just to give you a little bit of frame of reference when I talk about the Grenelle. So with the Grenelle, the vintage version that I was able to find in the size, I'm not quite sure if there was more than one size of this, but length was 9.3 inches in length, 7.9 inches in height, and then 2 inches in width. So similar sizing, except for the Pochette Metis is wider, so you get a little bit more real estate in your width. That really is helpful to pack a punch, because I've seen videos on the Pochette Metis and people are just able to fit so much in those handbags. So that is something to consider. Now with the Grenelle, this is a vintage item, so you're going to have to get it off of the second-hand market. Now, I'm going to go over a little bit of some pros and cons of the Grenelle that I felt are things that you should know about. Definitely, if you own the Grenelle, or if there's other things that you can think of that I don't cover, throw those in the comments down below. I would definitely appreciate it. So, first up, talking about the pros of the Grenelle. First off, it's less expensive than the Pochette Metis. You still get something from an iconic fashion house. The vintage quality is there, so I think it's a great option, especially if you can find one in really good condition or decent condition. So that's your first pro. Oh, sorry, disclaimer, I have my laptop over here, so that's why I'm looking to the side to keep myself straight and get all my points out. Next, it is a little bit larger than the Monsieur, so if you're wondering what I'm talking about, definitely check out my part 1 of this video where I did go into the same type of details about the Monsieur, if that's another option you're thinking about. Now, I would say that the Monsieur structurally looks more like the Pochette Metis than the Grenelle, but the reason why I picked the Grenelle, now Louis Vuitton does have a new version of the Grenelle. There is a vintage version, so if you want to see the vintage, you're going to have to put in vintage Grenelle instead of Grenelle, because there's a newer version that they actually have on their website, And so just wanted to throw that out there. They did update that style and release it again. Now, like I said, I left off with it being larger than the Monsu. Next up is it does have a crossbody strap that you can use for it. I believe the crossbody straps are removable, so it does allow you to mix and match your straps if you want to do that. Or sometimes I've seen, I would say more often with the Monsu, I don't see it come with the straps than the Grenelle. Most of the Grenelles that I've seen come with the straps. Also with the finishes of the Grenelle, pretty much all of the ones that I've seen were in the epi leather. Now I know that the epi leather is one of those finishes that are, for whatever reason, not as popular as the Louis Vuitton monogram or Emprunt or something like that. Really all of the leathers, really the monogram is just what takes the cake and gets you that higher resale value. But like I said, it is in epi, which I actually prefer. I really like it because it's more of an understated finish of it. I just prefer leather over canvas. But with the style of the Grenelle is the fact that one, epi is a great option because it is very hard wearing. The stamping on there makes it more scratch resistant than like more of your smoother finishes leather, like smooth calfskin or something like that. Also, I love that it's just a little bitty round disc on the front that says LV. So you still have that designer item, but it's not screaming, you know, Louis Vuitton or whatever the designer is. So I really do like that about it. Now, yes, and then epi's more durable. Sorry. So I wanted to make sure I got all my points out. So those are I see as pros and another option to the Pochette Metis. Now let's start talking about the cons. Before we get into the cons, though, I'm just going to take a little public announcement here and say that if you are listening to this part of the video, you made it about halfway through. Thank you so much for watching, and you must be enjoying the content. So definitely, if you're interested in anything related to fashion, luxury, or so focused on the secondary pre-owned type of topics, as well as if you like unboxings, product reviews, lifestyle videos, things like that, I do mix it up. Definitely please consider subscribing. Also, give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. That will greatly be appreciated and will help me to expand my reach to other people as well as to grow my channel. So thank you so much, and definitely hit that like button. Next, let's talk about the cons. All right, so the cons that I see with the Grenelle, first up is going to be that I feel like it is a little bit cumbersome to get in and out of. So what I mean by that is the Grenelle is, if you're looking at it from the side, and this is the front and this is the black back, there are flap openings on both the front and back, which is not very helpful when you are wearing it crossbody or even as a shoulder bag, because if there's something that you're trying to get into that is against your body frame, you have to open the flap to get into it. So that means pulling the bag away from your body, opening the flap to get into it. So really, if you're going to stick things in that pocket on the side that's closest to your body, you really want to put things in there that you're not going to be reaching for that often. So I do see that as a con, and is one of the reasons why I didn't go for this item. Also, it is a push button closure. So pretty much there's on the inside, there's a little bitty opening where the little pin on the front button sticks into to close it, which I feel like can over time impact the structure of the handbag, because if this is the front part of your handbag here, for example, this is the flap. If I'm pushing like this, then I'm going to be pushing on the leather, pushing on the material, and it's eventually going to start caving into that spot. So that's another con that I see. Obviously, if your handbag is full, if you have a organizer in there, it makes it easier, but it still does not completely take away the pressure that you're putting on the structure of the handbag by pushing it closed. Now, I'm not sure how hard it is to open and close because this is a vintage bag, and I don't think I've seen any videos, if any. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any videos. So it is real hard to kind of really get a user experience, more information on the user experience without actually purchasing it. But that's the reason I shied away from it. So also, with it being pretty much two different openings, whereas the Pochette Metis is one opening with a segment in the middle, you're losing some of that real estate. So if the width is 2 inches, you can take a few little millimeters, centimeters away from that, because really that width you're not going to be able to use the entire width of it because it's separated into two compartments, and they're two kind of like separate handbags meshed together, really, when you have two separate flap openings. So that is a con that I see as well. So those are all of the cons that I could think of. Definitely, this is a harder handbag to find, but I feel like the ones that I have found on the pre-owned market are in decent condition, especially considering the age. So it is a great option if any of those cons that I mentioned or any other cons that you're aware of are not a deal breaker for you. So definitely let me know in the comments down below if you own one of these. Let me also know if you have any questions. I would love to get your thoughts. Have you heard about this handbag? And would you consider purchasing it? I would also love to hear back from you about those too. So thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to listen to something that I have to say. And I really do appreciate it. Have a good day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.